Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Tuesday morning trading session. Hold on one moment here while I get the screen share going on. An interesting start to the day. Take a look here at the Eagle. This is, of course, the NASDAQ market. I'm also following soybeans and crude oil this morning, but those of you new in the trading room, please don't be shy about asking questions or requesting markets. The NASDAQ happens to be my personal favorite, or flavor du jour, market du jour, if you like. Now, I've been hanging with the NASDAQ for a couple of years now, and it seems like it's a great day trading market. Lots of advantages. All right, so we left off trading here just below 4,700 yesterday. Overnight saw the market rally a little bit, opening around the 47.30, 35 mark. We've got a little bit of an opening gap here. Be interesting to see whether traders try to get into that gap, especially given how bearish yesterday's trading was. We'll have to give them a few moments here. Those gaps are always, those overnight gaps are always interesting in that very often the market is going to try to get into that gap, but sometimes these monster gaps are more acceleration style gaps. So we may have to wait them out here for a few minutes. Soybeans and crude oil also fairly bullish. Here's crude oil. Took their time yesterday. Didn't do much during the morning session, which is odd. Normally, when crude oil makes its move, it does so early on. But yesterday, it seemed to unwind going into the close and then through the overnight. So we've got, in crude oil also, we have a opening gap. All right, things starting to turn over here on the hawk. Lots of yellow bars. We are bullish, but you know what? We are getting a trend change signal here on the Raptor. And I think I'm going to go for it if the market takes out the low right there. So the signal actually producing right here. This is a soft edge sell signal. This is rather aggressive on my part. For you Raptor traders, I'm going to show you how this works. So because it's counter trend, first thing you need to have a trend, right? So we've got a market that's a little bit of an uptrend. Then it's come down, and now we're making the test of the extreme. And we're looking for this to fail. If it fails, we would expect the market to head lower. Without that test of the extreme, you do not have a counter trend signal. This is true for all our counter trend signals. In fact, we are producing a double pullback here, which is a continuation signal. If you're looking to take this double pullback, in fact, you could. We essentially have the market kind of pinched here at the moment. I would wait for a second push entry opportunity. And maybe I waited a little bit too long on that one. Okay, so I'm going to scrub that trade. What I was going to show you, and perhaps I should have gotten in a little bit earlier, but on the second push, you allowed the signal to engage, you allowed the market to come down, retreat away from the signal, and then you look to enter above the high of that current bar. And it looks like that would have worked out all right. Well, we had a few corresponding signals. We had a nice first micro-macro cross here in the hawk. Hazards of a trade room moderator. Sometimes you miss stuff when you're pointing other things out. I'll try to get on these signals a little bit sooner. And darn it, I was going to try to take that first eagle signal this morning as well. I forgot all about that. So the first eagle signal, the one that's in sync, this was pointed out to me by Russell, one of the fellow DTS owners, who said, "Hey Eric, I've been having really good success taking that first in sync eagle signal." I guess it would have been this one right here, right out of the open. So the signal's printing right there. You probably want to cover at least back to the hard edge. I'm not sure I would necessarily go below this low, although I think it worked out that way. That might turn out to be a little bit cozy. But yeah, there you go. Nice little trade right out of the open. So I really wanted to get on that one this morning and forgot about it. Oh well. Just have to wait for our next opportunity. Hey, way to go, Jim. Jim says I pulled $120 off that eagle trade this morning. Nicely done, Jim. Good job. Now that we've hit the high probability target here on the eagle, it isn't uncommon to see the market maybe reverse, not full trend reversal, but you might get this kind of activity, a little bit of sideways, sometimes even a deeper pullback. And you can see we're starting to print we were printing a sell dot there temporarily. Well, we're getting a 4-arrow consolidation here on the hawk as well. Doggone it. My problem is, where am I going to cover this trade? There's your 4-arrow consolidation signal. I think right there the stops are a little bit too tight, unless you just go into single mode. You just go into single mode and you say, okay, that's all I'm going to give it, and there's the trade. Now let's see if they go any further here. Okay, so we've hit our target, we've hit our break even. I think I'm going to go into parabolic mode. There we go. If you're going to try a runner, very often doing a runner early is going to be the best time to do it. Although in this instance, I may have been better going all in, all out. Yeah, I would have got a little extra profit on that trade. And maybe the parabolics were a touch tight. We'll see. Just making a couple notes here in my journal. And Mark killing it here. Mark says the late filter entry signal, he got on board that one. Nicely done, Mark. Paid for $120. That's a great little move. So here the Falcon, well, technically this was not a trend change signal. It's what I sometimes refer to as an early trend change signal out of the open, and it's early, it's based entirely on the price structure itself, namely that we're seeing a higher swing low. The trend line spoiled the trade right here, unfortunately. So not really a Falcon signal, one that you can bank on, but yeah, a few minutes later you get the proper trend change signal followed by the late filter entry signal. Late filter entry, of course, occurs when the filter goes out of sync and comes back into sync, but the trend line never ever changes color. Very high probability signal, and boom, you get out there, you get your profit target. And again, once you hit those profit targets, it's not uncommon to see a little bit of a reaction, although I think the market owes us a larger reaction here. Okay, the hawk's starting to feel it now. We're into the red bar buy scenario. That's turning over entirely. It looks like we're going to make a run here at the hard edge. $47.50, that's near yesterday's highs. Okay, we're going to get a couple signals here. We're going to get a trend change signal on the Falcon. We're also going to get a Raptor signal here to short. I'm going to try to do the Raptor signal. Once again, this is that soft edge sell signal. You can do this same signal on the Falcon. There it is. Again, I'm going to try to run this one out a little bit. I'm going to try to be patient with my stops. Now, this is a little contrary to what I said the other day, where if I have a signal paying off in one direction, I'll tend to stay with that side. But the bulls kind of quit early, so I think the bears are going to take a whack at them, especially since we're near yesterday's highs. And yesterday was a very, very bearish day. Hey, way to go, Tony. Tony also capitalized on that late filter entry signal that we were looking at there just a moment ago. The only nice thing about reversal trades, counter trend trades, is that you have a very definite place to put your stop, namely above the contract high. All right, they're taking their time here. Let's take a look here at the Falcon. You'll see we also had a trend change signal right here. Looks like they might be working a late filter entry signal lower. Nope, the trend line just spoiled that. And like I said, this is very aggressive on my part. Here we have a first micro macro cross lower. Just like the Raptor trade we're looking at, the stops, however, would need to go above the high. Now we're coming back with a possible green bar sell. And we'll see whether or not the bears can put it together from here or not. Okay, so they're trying to head lower. They keep flinching. Keep flinching on these lows. Come on, let's press one more time. Come on. Hmm. Not liking to see that. This is again, a double pullback signal, which is more of a continuation signal. Come on. Doggone it. Here they come again. Tony says it looks like there might be another 4-arrow consolidation brewing. Although maybe I got his email or his text late. I've got 3 signals here off of this green bar sell. I wouldn't, oh, I see. Maybe Tony's looking at it like this. That this is a 4-arrow consolidation. Yeah, I suppose you could. Again, traditionally, the 4-arrow consolidation is a flag type formation. So if the market happens to be making a retracement in the shape of a bear flag or something resembling a bull flag, that tends to be a little bit better. And I'm doing my best to be patient. This is a rather important bar for us right now here on the Raptor. This is the bar where we're looking for the sellers to come back and again come down here, retest the lows, hopefully get us to the hard edge this time. Oh, get away from there, you scoundrels. This is the problem when you do a counter trend trade. It doesn't give you the ability to take the with trend trade when you get it. Kind of hopping on board early, hoping you're going to pick up a change in trend. I'm hoping that I can trade this market into the opening gap, maybe even take it down to the 4,700 region. I know that's very ambitious, but that was my plan. Okay, working a possible first micro-macro cross here on the hawk now. I'm hoping the sellers push it low enough that it actually negates that signal. Get that into yellow bars. Come on. Now it's working a macro pullback. There we go. There's a yellow bar. That takes all the pressure off of trying to buy that. Come on. Work with me. Oh, come on. Oh, well, here they come again. Doggone it. They're going to tap me out like yesterday, and then they're going to make a reversal. Get down there. Ah, you scoundrels. Watch this. Watch the reversal come now. Now that they just tapped the high. No? Okay, well, at least they're making me feel better by going a little bit higher. here we are, kissing our next resistance line. Yeah, Tony was smart. Tony stayed to the long side. He stayed with the trend. Good for you, man. I should have just put my money in an envelope and sent it to you directly. Hey, way to go. Andrew picking up 11 ticks on the NASDAQ and 58 on crude oil. Fantastic. Fantastic. I love reading stuff like that, especially when you guys are making your own decisions. And girls. I'm not leaving you ladies out. It's great to see you making your own decisions and getting your own winning trades. That's wonderful. Hey, way to go. And Mark's still working that trend change signal on the Falcon. Way to go, Mark. So this would be the signal right here. And look at her go. So I guess I should have taken my own advice and stayed with the trend. So just on hold now, waiting for our next opportunity. Wow, and they're still screaming higher. Fantastic. Nice move here this morning. So obviously a much more bullish market today than what we saw yesterday. Sometimes when the market takes off on you like this, you don't really have much choice but to wait it out, wait for your next opportunity. I know, it's not much fun, but what are you going to do? You guys are crushing it here. Tony says, my runner just got tagged. Nicely done. Wow, look at that monster move higher. Just crazy day today. Given, yesterday was such a huge downtrending day. Look at them go. Stephen makes a comment about the YM being down all day. I know this is odd when you get markets that are supposed to be at least loosely correlated, not behaving at all in the same way. Now, I know there's different factors driving the Dow versus the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ more tech stocks, the Dow more industrial. But yeah, it is odd. It makes you wonder what's pushing the Dow, or pardon me, pushing the NASDAQ. Very often, it's going to be one of the big ones, Apple usually being the most dominant of the NASDAQ markets. But yeah, like Steven says, I don't like it when the markets are not in sync with each other, and I don't blame you for that. I do think trading is is a little easier to do when the Dow and the NASDAQ and the E-mini all kind of looking more or less the same direction. I do agree with you on that. But the NASDAQ just made a killer move higher. Fantastic. Mark says I'm still with it. I'm done for the day after this trade. Nicely done, Mark. Yeah. Tony says we're back near these old highs at the 47, 74, 75 area. There's no question that the market is in a strong uptrend today. All right, getting another macro pullback. Problem with this macro pullback is covering this position. I do believe the market does need to retest the high. So it's likely you can scalp in and out. All right, so here we go now. We're getting the macro pullback signal on the hawk. Oh, shoot. Here I thought we were going to see a trend change, and it's possibly working to yet another late filter entry signal. And it is too. Okay, so the macro pullback reaching the profit objective. My concern is a test to the extreme, which might well be what we're looking at here. Okay, another macro pullback, which is characteristic of a market starting to unwind. I know I'm looking at a counter trend signal again. There it is. All right. This is, again, very risky on my part. I don't know if I just got something wrong with me today or what the deal is. But here we go with yet another soft edge sell. The stops on this one a little tighter than the other one. Maybe I should have waited to take out this little itty bitty swing low, just to confirm the top. I think a move to the hard edge, definitely a feasible move. Hey, way to go, Mark. Nicely done. Mark says, got tapped at 47.71 3/4 for $425 total profit on that trade. Exceeded my daily goal. Now I'm done playing and just enjoying the show. Way to go, Mark. Give yourselves a pat on the back. All of you who had the insight to take that with trend trade. I should have perhaps doubled down on this one myself, but why ask for trouble? Tony had a little technical malfunction here, but it worked out in his favor. Tony says, dumb luck, I was messing around with my manual setting earlier and left it on 10. Later I punched into the macro pullback and was surprised I had 10 contracts. Made the profit for 100 ticks. Nicely done. Yeah, that's one thing you want to pay attention to is your your quantities up here and whether you are in risk percent mode or manual mode. Well, I'm glad the trade worked out in your favor. Hi, Robert. Robert asks, while we're waiting for another entry, could you explain how to zoom out on the charts? Now, are you referring to how I stack my charts like this and I just make them bigger? I just hit my maximize button. That allows me to make the most of my monitor real estate. And then I can just snap it back to size. I've sized these manually, so when I print a new chart, for instance here, so I'm going to build a new chart, and let's say, oh, I don't know, we'll do a mid-cap chart. I've already got my template saved. Let's say we're going to do a hawk on a 6-tick mean wrinkle bar. So when the chart builds, it looks like that. And then I just play with the sizes. I play with the sizes until it's something that I like. And then I build the next chart and so on and so forth. I know you used to have a auto stacking feature or tiling, I think they called it. I don't know if Windows still has that feature or not. If they do, I've forgotten how to use it. Yeah, Tony says the auto feature always seemed to change the order of the charts. I think that's why I stopped using it. Moses says they don't have it anymore. Elmer's asking, the trade manager is not part of your template. Do you start this every time separately? All right, so let's start over here. So we're going to build a chart. And sure, let's do a mid-cap chart again. So I set my brick size. Select my chart style. I'll do the dynamic equivolume bars. And because I've already got a template set for my chart, I'll build a hawk chart. And now that arrives like this. So on my hawk chart, I happen to have my day ranger already on my template. And now for installing a trade manager. A trade manager is a strategy. It's not an indicator like the Day Ranger or the Hawk. So I go down here to my strategies window, and you can see I've got the Trailblazer, I've got the trade manager. Let's say I want to install the trade manager. So I double click on that. At this time, I can make any changes I like to my settings. I've already set up a few settings, however, and I've saved them. So in this case, I would go now to my Hawk, and I would choose my account, apply all that, and there you go. There's your trade manager, and now you're all set to go. So when you build a new chart, yes, I have to add the trade manager separately. But because I've already templated my settings with my preferred profit targets, my preferred risk amount, it's not that cumbersome. Once you have everything set up the way you like it, it's a good idea to save your workspace. These charts all back here, this is what's considered your workspace. So you go down here to your workspace, give it a name. Now I would encourage you, oops, doggone it, pushed the wrong button. I would encourage you to, when you save your workspace, save a duplicate. So what I've done is I've got my DTS workspace and then I've got my duplicate. What happens, why this is helpful is if the file ever gets corrupted for whatever reason, you don't have to rebuild all your charts, which is always a bonus. All right, well, we're getting a little bit of progress on this move now. We got a first micro macro cross lower. We got a trend change slash late filter entry signal lower. The soft edge sell, getting some follow through to it now. We hit the hard edge. I'm going to take this trade to break even, I think. How are we doing for open profit? So I'm thinking a move back here to the highs of this morning's opening range, perhaps 47.50 even. We're currently sitting back on this support line or resistance line, which is now acting as a support line. But if we get through that, ooh, wouldn't that be a nice target for me? 47.29 and 3/4, 47.30 essentially, bringing us back pretty much to where the market began this morning. go. We're getting hung up on the resistance line. We're getting hung up again here on the hard edge. What I'm hoping for is a cloud crossover, but we need to take out these lows first. Need to see the sellers get much more aggressive here. Hi, Elmer. Elmer is asking, do you have a view on NinjaTrader and why they are still sending updates on NinjaTrader 7? And at the same time, I receive emails saying NinjaTrader 8 is now ready for the market. Please change to Ninja 8. Ninja 7 is what they call the stable version. So it's still supported by NinjaTrader. And therefore you'll still receive upgrades to it. As bugs or little flaws are found, they'll fix it and they'll send out the latest version. Ninja 8 is off of the beta platform and is stable enough to be released to the market. That doesn't usually mean they found all the glitches, though. The indicator warehouse programmers are working on the new Ninja 8 release now that it's official to make sure there's no glitches with the software. And I was talking to Adam the other day, and he said that they hope to have any problems resolved before the end of the year. But that's always the thing when you upgrade to the latest operating system, if you will, is that you could end up catching a bug in the software. That's not to say your DTS is going to crash or even that your DTS won't work. That's not it at all. But, as with all new software releases, the programmers, they do their best to catch all the little hiccups, but they don't always catch them all. I am notoriously slow for changing operating systems. I think I was probably the last person to use Ninja 6.5 before they finally discontinued it, and I had to move to Ninja 7. I'm always a fan of staying with the most stable version. That's my own personal opinion. I guess I'm too old that bells and whistles don't excite me all that much anymore. And there are some very cool features on Ninja 8, don't get me wrong. There's some really cool features. But I just don't have the time to play with all that stuff like I used to. Okay, I'm doing my best to nurse this trade lower. It is taking its time, however. And I really wish I had taken 2 contracts on this now. I chickened out. 2 contracts gives me flexibility though. I could have profit on one already, and I could be playing the runner. Managing a single contract is always difficult. Mark, yeah, good question here. Mark's asking, just curious, why aren't you moving your stop down, like using parabolics or something? I'm trying to ride out the next swing. It looks like we're going to get a cloud crossover here. And, Mark, if I were smart, I'd take the 200 and change. But we're getting a cloud crossover. I'm hoping that I can ride out the next swing, in which case I could possibly anticipate a move. Well, 47.30 would be ideal. 47.40, I think I'd probably even take my profit at that point. So I'm taking a bit of a chance here. I'm leaving the 200 and some odd dollars in open profit. And if I wait much longer here, I won't have much choice but to try to ride out the swing and look for that possible cloud crossover and for the market to head lower. All right, so Robert says, I tried Ninja 8 this morning and my warehouse indicators did not populate. Reloaded 7 and things were fine. Yeah. Yeah, Mark says, but you're a smart guy. Oh yes, I'm clever. I figured out just about every way to lose money that there is. That's what I always tell you guys in the trading room. If there's a way to screw up a trade, I've done it before you. I have a feeling Tony's grabbed that other late filter entry signal. Yes, he did. He said, the late filter entry signal's been good to me. Tony catching this late filter entry from here. Another late filter entry printing right here. Now, we don't like to see these signals producing too often. These are like our macro pullback signals in the hawk. And you know, whenever you see a momentum shift here in the filter, we don't want to see that momentum shifting too many times. See, we're getting even a greater momentum shift here now. We'll see if it swings back to produce yet another late filter entry. The Eagle filter is good at this also. If you're watching your Eagle filter, and I know a lot of times we don't pay a lot of attention, or I don't point it out as often as I should, but when you see like a big red block, okay, and then you get a sliver of green, a smaller red block, oh, larger green, these are kind of trading each other off, but now all of a sudden you get a big green block and a smaller red block. This is showing you a definite shift in momentum. See how the red is declining and the green is increasing? That tells you that the buyers are getting stronger. Now after an enormous green block, we get a red block. A little itty-bitty green block, which, you know, you would expect a little bit more out of the buyers after this huge rally. But now all of a sudden we're printing a larger red block again. But I think, Mark, you're right, and I should go with something more aggressive here. All right, we'll give them this one bar. There we go. That's it. High of the bar. 47.57.5. Don't you dare go above there. You can see we hit the high of the morning, pretty much right on the number. A little bit of a hiccup there. And they stopped me out. All right, well, not a bad trade at all. Just making a couple notes here in my journal. Mark making a comment about Tony's trade. He says, nice trade, Tony. I stuck to my guns and I'm sitting out the rest of the day, up $500 plus on the day, and not willing to give any of it back. That is always a good plan. You know, it's so easy to get caught up in trading, get caught up in the adrenaline, and think that you always got to take another trade. Right? You look back and you look at the signal and you say, oh man, you start to see things. You start to look at, oh hey, this is a cloud crossover signal. I better short here. Or whatever. You come up with whatever reason you need to take a trade, and before you know it, your profits are gone. Like even a modest stop. And remember, if we're risking 2%, but let's say we even dial down to manual mode, and we make sure we're not running 10 contracts. Even a modest stop, you would risk, well, not quite half, but a sizable chunk of your hard-earned money. It's another reason why I'm a big believer in trade quotas. By trading less often, you set yourself up to cherry pick trades, to look for your best opportunities. Stephen, don't be upset. Stephen says, I haven't even pulled the trigger once today. Ugh. You know, Steve, that was me the last couple of days. And when the market runs so fast, it's easy to get stuck on your back foot. So don't beat yourself up too much. Just try to, wait it out. There's going to be opportunities all day today. So there they go. Now they're going to head down to that 47. Well, we're back at 47.50. I read a very interesting quote the other day. Let me see if I can find it. It was from Paul Tudor Jones, who, I don't know, I feel a kinship in a way with Paul Tudor Jones. I don't know why. Here we go. This was a trading quote from Paul Tudor Jones. And let me see if I can find it now. Okay. I think what caught me about this quote is he mentions how every day I assume every position I have is wrong. This is something that I learned early on in my trading career, and it kind of caught me by surprise because most people believe that they're right about their trades. Anyways, here's the quote from Paul Tudor Jones. The most important rule of trading is to play great defense, not great offense. Every day I assume every position I have is wrong. I know where my stop risk points are going to be. I do that so I can define my maximum possible drawdown. Hopefully, I spend the rest of the day enjoying positions that are going my direction. If they're going against me, then I have a game plan for getting out. Don't be a hero. Don't have an ego. Always question yourself and your ability. Don't ever feel you are very good. The second you do, you're dead. My biggest hits have always come when I've had a great period and I start to think that I knew something. And this is from Paul Tudor Jones, arguably one of the best traders of our lifetime. And he had a lot of notes there that kind of rang true with me as well. You know, my worst days have been days where I think I got the tiger by the tail. Where especially if I come into the market with a preconceived notion of whether the market should go higher or lower. Those are my worst days. And as I've shared with you guys in the trading room before, when I make a mistake, everybody gets to see it. At least when you screw up a trade at home, you do it in the privacy of your office. You may have to answer to your spouse, but maybe they won't ask. There's always that hope. Okay, so Mark says it's getting a little dicey now. And I agree. I think we're going to see that move higher, that little bit of a pullback. This is the cloud crossover now for you Raptor traders. So the market's going to drift into the cloud and hopefully come out of here, move lower. The bulls, of course, not prepared to walk away from such a strong day altogether. Oh my goodness, and the time's caught up on me here. Folks, I've got a meeting I need to attend, and I'm sorry, I've got to close the room up here pretty quick. If you are going to continue trading, look for a little bit of an uptick. Look for the sellers to jump all over the market again, and which way it's going to go from there, I can't tell. Not right now. The market a little bit more balanced than when it started today. But I think an uptick definitely in order at the moment. But, you know, the move of the day, I think we've already seen that. So if you're up in the black, it might be advisable to just take it easy, take the rest of the day off. All right, we'll catch up with you tomorrow, Wednesday. We're meeting at the open house venue, so I'll see you then. Bye for now.